I look at the Democrats, they're in total disarray. They have a new person named Crockett. I watched her speak the other day. She's definitely a low IQ person. And they said, she's the future of the party. I said, you have to be kidding.
So let me be really clear. These maps, racist. The fact that they are trying to silence black and minority voters in a majority minority state, racist. Pulling all of the economic engines out of certain districts, also racist. The bottom line is this is a Republican-led and racist attempt to make sure that we silence the voices of black and brown people. Now, I want to give y'all some numbers because I don't think that y'all fully understand how bad this is. Texas, number one, has more African Americans than any other state in this country. Right now, under the proposed maps, they want to make it to where Texas only has 2 districts in which African Americans have an opportunity to choose their representation. What does that mean for black voices in Texas? That means that it is approximately 1/5 the voting strength of their white Texan neighbors. That is what it's going to be. Not 3/5, but we are going to be reduced to 1/5. So my colleagues have laid out a number of things that they believe is going on as to why it is that this is happening. But I'm going to start with number one, Trump himself. He's racist. I've been saying that. I said that during the campaign. Anybody that would adopt the objectives of Project 2025 truly believes in a racist ideology.
How about this new one they have, the new star, Crockett? How about it? Is that real? Are they serious about that? That's their new star? If that's their new star, they're in serious trouble. I mean, this is Crockett. Oh man. But we've done a job, but they've totally lost their confidence. And it's a hard thing when you lose your confidence. But they've taken a lot of beatings, and now they're going to rely on Crockett to bring them back.
Why does he yell your name, Crockett, over and over? And then they're going to bring Crockett.
Let's be honest with each other. You can feel MAGA begin to shake whenever Jasmine Crockett takes the mic. They give an eye roll. They get noisy. They refer to her as irate. However, the truth coming directly from a black woman's mouth, unvarnished, is what they're truly afraid of. They are not comfortable with Jasmine's lack of polish. She is essential to our existence. She stands in for every black mother, sister, aunt, and daughter who defied deception. Because she isn't playing their game, MAGA is afraid of her. Perhaps that's why America needs her in a leadership role. Let's discuss what makes Jasmine Crockett a unique family, distinct. She doesn't sound like a polished politician reading from a script when she addresses Congress. She sounds just like us. She sounds like the family barbecue, the barber shop, or the beauty parlor, where the truth is sharp and quick. She stomps, doesn't tiptoe, doesn't whisper, and rattles the entire room. MAGA can't stand her for precisely that reason, because Jasmine doesn't just talk to them when she opens her mouth. She speaks for us. She bears the burden of generations who were told we were too loud or too furious, laughed at and silenced. And let's face it, we identify with her, which is why her videos go viral. She poses the queries that the way we hope we could. She pushes back. Jasmine has no qualms about humiliating a liar on live television. When they try to deceive the entire nation, don't be scared to tell them they're lying. You don't get that type of bravery from a strategy memo. It is the result of being black in America. It is the result of battling for every inch you have ever owned. But we had Obama. I know some of you are thinking, Kamala was acquired. What distinguishes Jasmine? Let's be truthful. Obama offered us optimism, but he was unable to take the chance of upending the status quo too much. Despite making history, Kamala was constrained by the same old politics that restrict rather than allow wings to fly. Jasmine, don't play that game, Jasmine. She doesn't downplay her race. She doesn't soften her statements to appease white people. She's not attempting to fit in. She's attempting to be genuine She has the opportunity to do what even they couldn't because of this. And for those who have been locked out since day one, not only take a seat, but turn the entire table over and rebuild it. She has the opportunity to accomplish what even they could not, which is to flip the entire table over and rebuild it for the people who have been locked out since day one. Because she is attempting to be genuine. MAGA refers to it as rage. We refer to it as power. And such power does not only tremble through the corridors of Congress, it finally lets us know that perhaps America is ready for a leader that fights like us and doesn't just look like us. Visit your family. The magnitude of the army gathered against someone is always a good indicator of their strength. Observe Jasmine Crockett as well. MAGA has entire blogs, networks, and panels of experts devoted to discrediting her. Why? Because they realize in their hearts that she is more than just a politician. She really is a menace. They refer to her as irate. They accuse her of being unprofessional. They claim she doesn't belong. However, isn't it the same script they employed against all of the powerful black leaders who came before her? Wells Ida B is too loud. Shirley Chisholm is too brazen. Angela Davis is too radical. Dr. King is too risky. America tries to silence any black voice that is too loud. That's the trend. Here's what MAGA doesn't understand, though. We are the recipients of their hatred. She is hitting the nerve, as evidenced by their slander tactics. Their disdain is evidence that she is succeeding. If the rocks aren't striking your house, you don't throw them at anyone. And Jasmine caused their entire foundation to tremble. And let's be honest, family, don't waste sleep about those you can manage, MAGA. Since Jasmine isn't for sale, they are afraid of her. She is not submitting to donations. She's not caving in to lobbyists. Furthermore, she isn't pleading for white approval. With her head held high and her eyes fixed on us, she shouts what we have all been yelling for decades. And if they're trembling now, think how much more so when the thought occurs to them, what if the entire nation is ruled by this black woman? Our evidence that she is precisely what America needs next is that dread.
That you do, or intentionally, because you know people will pay attention more if something is kind of funny or if it's delivered in a natural way?
I think that people are over politicians trying to politic. I think that they want people to truly represent them and the frustration and the annoyance and even some of like the comical stuff. Like, look at Pete, right? Like, because we love DUI hires, right? But you know, like, I mean, like, I think that it's fair that like people are like, yo, like this is a joke, right? No, it's not. It's like this terrible nightmare. And literally, I really do know that it is a nightmare for so many people, not just here, but across the world. I get emails from all over this world with people that are fearful because of the lack of leadership that they're seeing right now on the federal level here.
Lack of leadership, we're stripping the country down. We're really, I don't know if that we'll ever know how much damage will have been done, because some of the things are very much under the radar, and you get to see that kind of stuff. You get to see the things that are being taken away, these things that are important to Americans that aren't. Like, I mean, we do pay attention to Pete Hegseth and we pay attention to Elon Musk and whatnot, but the little things are the things that are really are terrifying, aren't they?
No, it really is. But let me tell you something. We really don't know how much damage they're causing. Like, when I tell you that the level of incompetence is almost like incomprehensible, it is so bad. And when you bring up the idiot known as Elon Musk, he is not only like very sinister and has no idea what he's doing, and people are like, oh no, he absolutely knows because he's the richest man in the world. Like, yes, he knows how to hire smart people, but don't conflate that and believe that he is the genius, because he ain't. And so he has inflicted so much harm and done so much that even Trump don't want to talk about it. When the last time you heard about Elon?
Not much. You don't
we
see
haven't
him
heard
that
about
much.
look at his ratings, right? Like, he continues to have these failing ratings. So now they're like, oh, get rid of Elon. But let me tell you, the stench ain't getting off of you, Trump, honey. Like, you are a problem, he is a problem, Pete is a problem, all of y'all a problem. So,
Let's take a moment, family, to discuss Jasmine's origins, because her ascent is spiritual as much as political. She didn't have family dynasties or silver spoons in her mouth from birth. She had to struggle twice as hard to be in the same room as us, just like we did. She doesn't sound prepared when she enters Congress because of this. She doesn't seem to be making an effort to blend in. Because she is us, she sounds like us. Dallas is audible in her voice. However, you can also hear generations of our grandparents who unacknowledgedly carried entire families on their shoulders. You can hear the women who put in long hours as teachers, nurses, and caregivers, only to return home and take charge of their homes. All of them have a daughter, Jasmine, the live echo of both genius and survival. And MAGA is anxious because of that. Because how can you argue with someone who has experienced the hardship you're lying about? How can a woman who understands what it's like to be disregarded, questioned, and ignored, and still continues to rise, be silenced? Jasmine talks on more than simply policy. She talks about pain. She talks about power. She discusses the possibilities. Her ascension is significant because of this. For those of us who have been told we're too much, too loud, or not enough, it's not just for her. Her ascent is evidence that not all seeds can be crushed by the system. Some of them grow through the concrete itself. Among them is Jasmine Crockett. Now, family, let's be completely honest. Prior to Obama shattering records and Kamala entering the White House, we had already witnessed history. However, many of us still secretly feel as though something is lacking. Obama offered us hope, but all too frequently, he attempted to make that hope acceptable to everyone else. Even the people who were trying to harm us. Despite making history, Kamala's voice was lost in the system and entangled in politics that never truly benefited our communities. Jasmine feels different because of this. She doesn't mince words for anyone. She isn't attempting to soften her enthusiasm or improve her accent to make white people feel safer. She doesn't plead for acceptance in places that weren't designed with her in mind. As Jasmine enters, she says, "I belong here." For a period, that is a very different type of power. You see, Obama used the system as a chess piece. If the game isn't fair, Jasmine will completely change the rules. Kamala grinned in solidarity. She's going to smile while calling you out, Jasmine. She doesn't play respectable politics, which is why MAGA fears her more than the two of them put together. She pretends to be truthful. Furthermore, no speech can shake the table as much as the truth. Jasmine provides more than just representation. It's being restored. Our voices, our suffering, our happiness, and our dignity are all restored. Obama inspired the world, not as a footnote, but as the headline. Kamala dismantled boundaries. However, Jasmine Crockett had the drive to change the future alongside us, not in isolation. Let's discuss why MAGA trembles whenever Jasmine Crockett takes a microphone, family one. She is extremely sharp, but it isn't the only reason. She's brave, but it's not only because she's bold. She is uncontrollable, which is why
Guest is a member of Congress who makes a lot of sense to me.
this is not what we should be doing. I don't even know why we fighting with Greenland. Why we fighting with Greenland? We fighting with Canada. We fighting with Mexico. Yet we in love with Putin. What is happening? Like, this is not America. This is a terrible nightmare. Somebody slap me and wake me the up, because I'm ready to get on with it.
family, if MAGA is trembling now, imagine what happens when more leaders like Jasmine Crockett step into the light. That's why they try to silence her, but that's exactly why we must amplify her. This isn't just about politics, it's about power, truth, and the future we deserve. If you feel that too, don't just watch, share this message, drop your thoughts below, and subscribe so we can keep building together, because our voices matter and together they can never silence us. Until next time, family, stay loud, stay proud, and stay unstoppable.